Hey guys, Reese here, and welcome back to the channel. So, cash flow pays the bills, appreciation creates wealth. This is a very common saying in the real estate investing world, and it's so incredibly true. Cash flow is super important, as we always talk about. Appreciation without cash flow is super dangerous. It's how people lost their properties in the 2008 crash. As people who were banking on appreciation and had no cash flow, they were banking on continually refinancing properties to pay for their debt service and their repairs and all those expenses. Well, they lost those homes when they were no longer going up in value. However, just having cash flow is such a slow way to build wealth. Cash flow alone will make you a lot of money over time very slowly. As you know, for me in my market, I look for 12 to 15% cash flowing properties. Much better than the stock market. However, it's still slow. Appreciation is what truly builds wealth, and cash flow is what you need to pay those bills, cover your debt service, cover your CapEx repairs, everything that goes along with holding a property. And now there are two types of appreciation. Market appreciation, which is that neighborhood going up in value, and forced appreciation, which is renovations to a rental property or to your home that increases the value of that. And by forcing appreciation in your properties through renovation and value add, that's the fastest way to notice real wealth creation. And so in today's video, we're talking about two things you really need to pay attention to when you're going to be renovating a property. One of those things is on the cash flow side, and one thing you need to pay attention to is from the appreciation side. And by paying attention to these two things, you'll make sure your money is being spent on the right things to make sure all that money you spend on your properties goes the farthest and nets you the highest return. So guys, if that sounds good to you, go ahead and like this video. And if you're new to the channel, I'd love it if you'd subscribe. I really appreciate all the support you guys have shown me. And I look forward to continue to bringing you guys great content, mostly related to real estate and occasionally dipping into other financial topics as we go along. So thank you so much, guys. Let's dive right into the video. So guys, I think it goes without saying that if you're going to make improvements to a rental property, you want it to do one of two things. Either increase the value of that property and make it worth your time to invest that money, or increase the cash flow that you receive from that property. Or best case scenario, both of those. Now, of course, there are some improvements you just have to make to a property to keep it functional, keep it operational, such as, replacing a broken water heater. Maybe a newer water heater will add a very small amount of value to that property, probably not nearly as much as that costs you though. However, you're not getting any increase in cash flow by just replacing a water heater. That's something that's expected in a rental unit is a working water heater. And so these things come up. You have to invest the money in these capital expenses to keep the property operational and bringing in rent. However, let's say in one of your rental properties, you have all carpet and you want to replace that carpet for luxury vinyl plank, which is a very common enhancement that's made to rental properties. It's relatively cheap at about $4 to $5 a square foot installed in my market. And it's a great way to add value to your properties, as well as increase cash flow and make unit turns cheaper because you can just sweep and mop those floors down instead of, shampooing carpets. And so for a unit that has 1,000 square feet of carpet that need to be replaced with vinyl, $5 a square foot installed would be $5,000 of improvements made to that property. And before we spend this money and make this upgrade, we really want to look at two things. One is how much will this upgrade increase the property's value? And two, what is the increase in cash flow and therefore the payback period from this value add installing these new floors? And making any improvement like this where I want the improvement to add value to the home, that's why I'm making this repair, I want to see a 2x return on my money. So that $5,000 flooring install would need to increase the property's value $10,000. And this goes for if I'm looking at a large renovation. Say I'm going to turn and renovate an entire unit. It's going to cost me $50,000. Well, I'd want to see the property value go up $100,000. The goal for me is always to buy properties that'll hold long-term and that'll cash flow long-term. However, I always buy properties that have some form of value add as well. And with that value add, I look for 2 times increase on my money. So a $10,000 investment means increasing the property value $20,000. However, this 2x return on your money might be completely unrealistic in certain markets, And so you guys out there need to research your market and figure out, well, how much do my investments net me in my market? So maybe you look for a $5,000 investment, nets you $7,500 increase in property value, or a $5,000 investment returns $15,000 increase in property value in other markets, right? So do that research and come up with a great goal to aim for on all your renovations. So taking it back full circle to this $5,000 flooring install, like I said, you would want to see a $10,000 increase in value. However, what if that's not the case? What if you can't increase the property value by $10,000 with a $5,000 investment? Well, this flooring install might still be worth it based on the second item, which is the cash flow payback period. Now, I personally and many investors I know like to see a 2 to 3 year payback period on their capital improvements to a property. That means if some renovation you make to a property increases the rent from $500 to $600 a month, well, that's a $100 a month increase in rent, obviously. A 2-year payback period would mean you could only spend $2,400 to achieve that $100 increase. Whereas a 3-year payback period would mean you could spend $3,600 to achieve that same $100 per month increase in rent. So for the $5,000 flooring example, if I want to be paid back over 2 years or 24 months, then the rent needs to be able to increase by $200 a month. Maybe that's realistic, maybe it's not. Maybe we need to settle for a 3-year payback period, which would mean a rental increase of $138 per month. Maybe that's more realistic. Real estate investing is all about velocity of money. So how quickly can you spend money and receive that money back with extra money to then reinvest? And how quickly can you turn that money over and over and over and grow it larger? So the quicker you can turn that money over, the quicker you can grow your wealth. And these two metrics are super important to pay attention to when it comes to velocity of money, because by adding, say, 2 times the value of whatever you spend, so spend $5,000, you get $10,000 in value added to your property, well, you're making sure that you can then, say, cash out, refinance these properties, pull that money back out, and have it available again to you to buy another property. If you put money into a property that doesn't increase the value of it enough, you won't then be able to pull it back out to put into a new property, and that money will be stuck in that property. Whereas the same goes for the cash flow payback period. If you buy, say, a refrigerator that has a useful life of 5 years, which, most have a longer useful life, but let's say 5 years, well, if it takes 5 years to be paid back for that investment, you're not making any money on that investment. Whereas if it only takes you 2 years to be paid back, you have 3 years where that increased rent from that new refrigerator is profit in your hands, right? And so if you can make investments that have a 2-year payback period, that's a much quicker velocity of money than, say, a 3-year or a 4-year payback period. Now, of course, you don't have to pay attention to any of these metrics if you are investing in real estate not to make money, or you kind of just want to have them to say you have them. But then this video isn't really for you guys, and you can just go ahead and hold your properties and enjoy the cash flow and not really focus on that velocity of money and growing your wealth very quickly. So if that's you, go ahead and disregard this video completely. All right, guys, super quick video today, I believe. Thank you so much for checking it out. 2 very important metrics to pay attention to when you're considering what money you're spending on your rental properties. So guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. I really appreciate it. Once again, please like this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day, guys.